Hello everyone and welcome to Roma Theory. Claudio Ranieri wants Carlo Ancelotti sitting on the Roma bench and being Roma's manager next season. The media can be diabolical. Yes, it can. The media can be very, very, very diabolical in sometimes. But I personally don't think it's the scenario which is unrealistic here. Carlo Ancelotti has always said how one day the Roman fate would bring him sitting on the Roma bench and being the Roma manager. We're speaking about a manager with the last trophy that Real Madrid won, that Intercontinental Cup against that Mexican side, became the most winning manager in the history of this game. We're speaking a massive name, a massive box PR manager sitting on the Roma bench. Is it unrealistic? Well, of course, it is unrealistic to even think about this. But as I just said, I don't think it's the image that's unrealistic. I can see it happen. I really do. He's always said that he wants to manage Roma one day. Of course, he's a Roma legend. He was a legendary midfielder that year that Roma won that second Scudetto. Absolutely incredible player. He's got Romanism in his veins once again, knows this club, knows this environment. Roma and Milan are kind of the two teams which have represented Ancelotti's football career and the managerial career on both this football world. So I don't necessarily think that it's this, image of Roma getting Ancelotti and Ancelotti becoming Roma's manager, which is unrealistic to see. It's just the logistics, which in my opinion won't make sense and ultimately will probably be the main reason as to why it won't happen. He's at the best club in the world. Don't mind the fact that Real Madrid are having not a great season considering their standards, full of injuries. And I agree, Ancelotti's cycle at Real Madrid is about to end. If it doesn't end this year, it will end next year. But his contract says and ties him with Real Madrid until 2026. So why would he, as a Real Madrid manager, kind of all of a sudden start talks with Roma? Number two, in my opinion, he won't get sacked because of the name he's built, because of the legacy he has built with Real Madrid. He won't get sacked this season. If Real Madrid don't want him anymore, they will get to the end of the season with him, and then they'll part ways with 1 year left on the contract, and they will probably go with someone like Xabi Alonso. But that's not good for Roma, because Roma need to start programming the season. And Carlo Ancelotti, Real Madrid manager, will not start having secret talks with Roma whilst at the same time being under contract with the best club in the world. So the logistics of this, I can understand why Roma would go for Ancelotti. I would understand why, of course, one of the best managers out there, if not the best manager out there. Again, very hard to see it happen. It feels like it's one of those clickbait titles. The media has spoken about it. A lot of Roman sources have spoken about it. That one of the main targets for Claudio Ranieri, who I remember to you, will have a very big say in Roma's decision to appoint the manager, is to bring somebody with a big CV on the back, somebody who knows Italian football. These are all things that Ranieri and Ghisolfi said out loud in front of the public on national TV. The next manager will be a big name, and the next manager will be somebody who knows Italian football well. So these two things successfully fulfill Ancelotti's criteria. Again, he's not the only one on the list. You've got the likes of Allegri, who I still think is the favourite for this summer if he doesn't get into a job mid-season. You've got, the likes of Mancini, all of the names that we were speaking about as potential Juric replacements. I think the next manager will be Italian, and I think the next manager will be a big name, because after all of the mistakes that the board has committed this summer, number one, they won't go for a project manager, in my opinion. I mean, of course, you can build a project with any manager, but they won't go with a gamble type manager because they've already done a gamble type manager with De Rossi, and they've presented themselves with this project type manager with no patience. So in my opinion, it won't be a modern manager. In my opinion, it's going to be a Mourinho 2.0 to continue Mourinho's project and to continue giving a grand scheme to Roma's project, which of course this season completely went out of the window. A name which can get the fans going, a name which can get the enthusiasm back going, something which has been lacking this season, of course, due to the mistakes that they've made. So again, as I said before, going back to what I was saying, it's not the scenario which, in my opinion, is, despite improbable, I can see it happen. I would not call it unrealistic. Call me crazy. I would not call this scenario unrealistic, because Ancelotti has always said that he wants to manage Roma one day. Whether that's going to happen or not, you know, he's won everything. He's proved everyone. He has become the best manager in the history of this game, if you look at the trophies collected. So all of that says, try something new. You've proved it. End your career on a high. Part of you would say ending his career on the Roma bench is not ending on a high, and I agree. He can go to the Brazil national team, which is a very prestigious national team. I don't know where to sit on the fence regarding these news, but the one thing that I would say is I would love it, because you know me. I think one of the things which characterizes this football club is the relationship between the fans and the empathy that the fans automatically create with the legends of this club. So I can only imagine what the Roma fan base would do if Ancelotti gets named and announced new Roma manager. All of us would be over the moon. Incredible manager, grand scheme, let's get back winning type moment. But the other half of me goes, are we really convinced that with this team and with these players, Ancelotti would go well? Because Ancelotti is a manager which has won everything because he's a great manager. But he's also won everything because every team that he's managed was basically unbeatable. You look at Real Madrid with Cristiano in his prime. You look at Real Madrid now, last year. You look at Bayern Munich when he was there. You know, I don't think he's somebody that massively succeeds in these more complicated challenges. And we've seen this with him at Everton and at Napoli. At Napoli, he was the Napoli manager. He achieved nothing. He achieved absolutely nothing. And with Everton, I do remember Everton was first in the Premier League for about a few game weeks. But then again, he did nothing with it. So I think he's a manager that if you withdrew from the grand club, luxury club, spending money for fun type club, if you get him away from that world, I'm not that convinced Ancelotti will succeed. Of course it's a yes, because we're nobody to say no to such a manager. But is he the correct manager for a project like Roma? Is he the correct manager for a club like Roma? Is he a correct manager for the players that Roma have and for the players that Roma will have the power to buy? And these are questions that I think you must consider, because everybody connotates Ancelotti with trophies because it's what he did. But all of these trophies have been collected with teams that, realistically speaking, even I could have been the manager of. So it's a bit, as I said before, I don't know where to sit on this. Again, it's not going to happen, most probably. It's just one of these rumors that has been launched, and we're here to react to the rumors. It would be very fun to see it happen. It would be very ecstatic to see it happen, no doubt. But I think the chances are very improbable. I think, number one, he's got a contract, as we said before, until 2026. Number two, he could go to the Brazil national team, especially if R9 gets named president of the Brazilian Federation of Football. He would definitely go for a manager like Pep or Carletto. So again, the one thing that I think we should take out of this is that the next Roma manager will be Italian, if not knows Italian football very well. And number two, I think the next manager will be a box office manager, a PR manager, a big name manager. Allegri, Ancelotti. At a certain point, there were people speaking about a Mourinho 2.0 return. Not gonna happen. But this is what, and I think who, the next Roma manager will be. because the fans need it, because the team needs it, and because Roma needs it. We're coming from a terrible season. We're coming from a season where most probably, yet again, we're not going to win anything. So it's about kind of getting back to the lines and the path that the Fredkins created as soon as they arrived with the Conference League win and with the Europa League win. And to do this, you need somebody experienced and you need somebody who knows how to handle pressure moments. And Ancelotti is definitely one to consider. So as I said before, it's not the scenario, it's just the logistics which make it improbable for me. But as always, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think he could be a good fit? Do you think this is going to happen? Or is it just bull, BS? Or yeah, let me know your favorites, who you would like to see at the end of the season. Could Claudio Ranieri stay for one more season if Roma struggles to find a manager now? Anything can happen with these owners. Anything can happen with this football club. Let's see what happens and let's be prepared for everything, I would say. So yeah, hit the like, subscribe, and let me know what you think down below in the comments. Speak to you all soon. See you, Mo.